Welcome to the How Good It Can Get podcast, where we dive deep into the transformative journey from surviving to thriving. Join me, your host, Andrea Rice, on this empowering exploration of mindfulness, spirituality, and unlocking your full potential. Let me show you just how good it can get. Hello and welcome back to the How Good It Can Get podcast. I'm your host, Andrea Rice, and before we get started today, I do want to just say thank you to everyone in over the 20 countries that this little podcast has reached this year. We've been picking up new listeners in India and Malaysia and all over the world, so thank you so much for anyone who has tuned in to even just one part of one episode. We truly, truly appreciate it. And today is a very special episode because you're not going to be just hearing from me, but we have a very special guest here today, and that is Chan Maragh, who has partnered with me at How Good It Can Get, and we're here to talk about a new program that we have that we're launching. So Chan, thank you for being here today.
Hi, Andrea. I'm so excited. This is always a fantastic opportunity when we get to do something new for our How Good It Can Get program.
Yes, we have a lot of exciting things to share with you, and we like to say that this is our purpose work. Just so many great things coming, and the thing that we've been working on recently is called Beyond the Couch, the 28-Day Challenge. And we are going to dive into that, but before Chan and I tell you our perspectives on it, we recently were able to have a little podcast done that goes over the program and really emphasizes what it's all about. So we're going to shoot it over there. And so come back, don't go anywhere. In just about 8 minutes after you've listened to that, Chen and I are going to be back to tell you even more about it and our special insights and how this all came about and what that means for you.
Okay, let's unpack this. It's all about something called the Beyond the Couch Challenge.
Right, and this comes from a platform named How Good It Can Get.
How Good It Can Get. Okay.
Yeah, and its core purpose, well, as it's described, it's a program really built to support people navigating anxiety.
Exactly, and the source, it introduces the founders to Andrea Rice and Chan Maragh.
That's right. They're actually referenced in the material as thought leaders in this space.
Interesting. And the overall philosophy behind how good it can get, it seems quite broad, holistic.
It does seem that way. It pulls from areas like mindfulness, positive psychology, even some spiritual growth concepts.
Right.
The driving idea presented seems to be about equipping people with accessible tools, sort of help quiet the mind and maybe cultivate a sense of abundance.
Got it. So this challenge isn't the only thing this platform offers then. Our source mentioned other resources too.
Oh, yeah, a whole range. A podcast, guided journals. I think it mentioned titles like Beyond the Couch, Unlocking Your Higher Consciousness.
Vibrational mastery, too. I saw that.
Right, and a toolkit listing things like guided conversations, affirmations, meditations, courses. It sounds like a whole ecosystem.
Yeah, it does.
It's definitely presented that way. And they even have a blog, which they call Small Reads, Big Insight, touching on related topics like building habits, mindful eating, that kind of thing.
Okay, so there's definitely a wider context here.
Yeah.
But for this deep dive, we're specifically focusing on understanding the Beyond the Couch Challenge itself.
Precisely. A 28-day interactive program designed with the express goal of helping dismantle anxiety.
28 days. That number, it often pops up in habit formation discussions, doesn't it?
It does.
But let's get into the nuts and bolts. What is this 28-day challenge actually involves day to day?
Well, the core structure outlined involves daily audio recordings. Each one's pretty short, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, presenting a lesson in just like 2 to 4 minutes.
2 to 4 minutes. And what are these short lessons focused on?
They're described as tools and insights for managing anxious thoughts. The aim is to help you identify personal triggers and begin to challenge those familiar negative thought loops that can be, well, pretty persistent.
So bite-sized audio lessons daily, that seems quite deliberate, designed for ease of consumption, maybe?
It certainly appears that way.
Yep.
Short, focused, daily inputs, yeah.
Okay. And beyond the audio, what else is part of the daily structure? Is there more?
Yeah, there's an interactive guided journal. It's not just, empty pages.
Right. How does the source say it's different, then?
It includes daily prompts and exercises, specifically designed for self-reflection that ties into the audio lesson for that day.
Okay.
And intriguingly, it incorporates QR codes you can scan.
QR codes. In a journal. What do those link to?
They provide access to exclusive content, maybe extra support or insights, I guess. So it blends the physical act of writing with digital elements.
That combination, listening, reflecting by writing, and then some digital support, it does sound like a layered approach.
Yeah.
And I think I saw they also mentioned daily emails, right? For tips and motivation, kind of keeping you engaged over the 28 days.
Yes, exactly. Keeping that consistency going seems really important to the program's design.
Makes sense.
And there's another layer, too. They include access to a community forum.
The community aspect.
Right.
Connecting with others who are also doing the challenge.
Yeah,
That social support piece is often really impactful for personal change, isn't it?
definitely.
It's not just about the individual work.
No, it as a place for asking questions, sharing experiences. It adds that communal dimension to what's otherwise a personal journey.
Okay, so audio, journal with digital links, emails, community support. It sounds like a pretty comprehensive package, as described. But you mentioned the audio is only a few minutes. What about the overall time commitment each day? Is it a lot?
The daily time needed is intentionally kept very short. Just a few minutes in total.
A few minutes
Really.
for everything.
Yeah.
That seemed surprisingly low, given how much ground anxiety can cover.
It does seem low, but the source positions this as a key feature, making it highly manageable.
Oh, okay.
And therefore easier to integrate consistently into busy lives. It seems designed to remove that I don't have enough time barrier, you know?
That makes sense. Consistency over intensity, perhaps, is the philosophy described here.
Seems like it.
So how does this approach actually works then to help with anxiety? What's the mechanism?
Well, the core mechanism, as it's presented in the material, is pairing those short audio lessons directly with the guided writing in the journal.
Okay, so you listen to the concept, and
Yeah.
then immediately you're processing it actively through writing.
Exactly. Creating a kind of feedback loop. The idea is that this active engagement, listening, processing, reflecting, writing it, helps you work with your thoughts in, like, real time.
So it's not passive listening, it's applying the idea right away.
Precisely. And this active processing is what helps you begin to challenge patterns and rewire your brain's stress response over time.
Rewire.
Yeah, they present it as a way to actively interrupt habitual anxious reactions.
That term rewire is interesting. It implies a kind of neurological shift, doesn't it?
It does.
And this daily practice is done over 28 days. Is there a specific reason mentioned for that time frame? Why 28?
Yes, the source connects the 28-day duration to, well, common concepts around habit formation research.
Right, like building a new habit.
Exactly. The idea presented is that consistent daily practice for around 4 weeks is often cited as a period sufficient to begin embedding new routines.
Okay.
And as they phrase it, start building a new mental habit or pathway.
So the length is deliberate then, aimed at anchoring these new ways of responding and thinking. It's about building a consistent practice to potentially replace older, more anxious habits.
That really seems to be the rationale provided by the source. Small, consistent actions intended to build towards a larger shift over that month.
Right. Given all these components and the stated mechanism, who's the target?
Well, the material frames it as being particularly helpful for individuals who feel, caught in cycles of worry, those who are constantly running what-if scenarios in their minds.
Yeah, that feeling of being trapped by constant mental churn. I think a lot of people can relate to that.
Definitely. Or people dealing with anxious attachment patterns or just simply feeling overwhelmed by persistent anxious thoughts.
Okay.
It's presented as a tool for pretty much anyone looking to gain more control over their anxiety.
So if someone listening recognizes themselves in that description and, wants to explore this further, what's the process?
The sign-up process described seems pretty straightforward. You just go to the platform's website.
That was howgooditcanget.com for the Beyond the Couch challenge, right?
That's the one. Upon enrolling, you get immediate access to all the components. The digital journal, the audio lessons, the community portal. Everything you need to start right away.
Immediate access. So no waiting around to begin that daily practice.
Yeah. Ready to go.
Okay, so bringing it all together then. This Beyond the Couch challenge is essentially a structured 28-day program. It involves short daily commitments, just a few minutes for audio lessons and guided journaling.
Right.
Supported by emails and community. And it's all aimed at building new mental habits to address anxiety.
That sums it up well. And perhaps the key takeaway, the thought to leave you with is simply this. Consider how different your day-to-day might feel in, say, just 4 weeks from now.
Yeah. That's interesting. If you actually dedicated just those few consistent minutes each day, like the program outlines,
Mm-hmm.
to focusing specifically on reclaiming a sense of calm
Mm-hmm.
and building those new habits, what could that actually change for you?
It's a compelling possibility, isn't it? Presented by the program's design, something definitely worth considering.
All right, everyone. Hello and welcome back. We hope you enjoyed that overview of our new program, Beyond the Couch, the 28-Day Challenge.
Andrea, how did How Good It Can Get come about?
Well, how good it can get is really based on just that. How good can life get? And it can get really good. So I've talked about it a little bit on this program. You know, I was riddled with anxiety for many, many years. And it only got worse after I got separated, to the point where there were times I did not want to go on. And I think there are a lot of people out there who can identify with that. But that, to me, is such a foreign concept now. My mind doesn't even go there. But it took years of finding the right tools, finding the right solutions, putting them all together in the right way to find a solution that took me from anxious and stressed and depressed to really enjoying a happy, abundant, stress-free life.
Which is what's interesting and brought us together, because I never suffered from anxiety. So coming together and bringing two perspectives into one program is really what's made it so effective. You're getting best of both worlds, real life experience as well as viewing from the outside and supporting from the outside.
Yeah, and we've talked about this a lot, you and I, that anxiety doesn't just impact the person who is suffering from it. As you know, you've had people in your life who have suffered from it, and it impacts everyone, right? Everyone, every relationship, every dynamic that person has.
Absolutely.
And that's where your perspective comes in, right? Because you've been on the sidelines supporting other people as they have navigated their own journey through anxiety.
Yes, and it's not as easy as it sounds, because you want to help them and you can't. You don't understand it until you do. And over the years, I've come to understand that it's not as simple as stop doing it. However, there are the simple practices and habits that we put together that will absolutely help you get to the better place and see how good it can get. The key is really how it's integrated into your life, which is what makes our program as valuable as it is and unique. We slowly integrate it into your lives in very small pieces. And 28 days was purposeful because it takes 28 days to integrate habits into your life.
Right. And the biggest thing we wanted to do also, we want this to be a solution that sticks with you, right? We don't want this to be just like a one-time lecture and you go on and nothing's really impacted in your life. We want this to be something that you carry forward with you. So it's a 28-day investment now for a lifetime of living a happy, joyful, abundant life. That's the goal.
Yes. And again, typically we learn lessons and we're left to figure out how to integrate them into our lives. But this system, we are right there by your side, helping you, showing you easiest ways to incorporate them into your daily lives, which our daily lives are all busy. And especially when we are having an anxiety attack, we have no time to think about solutions. And, typically we will watch a video, a how-to video, or read some tips. And that would help us initially, but nothing that will last. And you'll jump around from different tips and different how-tos. It just doesn't work.
No, it's not a real lifelong solution. And to the point, everyone is busy. Most of these practices take less than 5 minutes at a time, right? Like the audio lessons that you get are 2 to 4 minutes. That's it. And we know you have the time to incorporate this, because how much time do you spend overthinking every day? I mean, that used to be the bulk of my thoughts, was worst case what if scenarios, overthinking, couldn't sleep because my mind was racing. But just taking these few minutes every day to incorporate these habits, these lessons and these tools, that they'll become second nature. And by the end of 28 days, your whole life will look different.
I like to do an analogy with just making daily decisions. Everything we do, we have to make a decision. And once you incorporate these practices, it will become second nature, and eventually it will be just like making a decision.
Split second. Don't even have to think about it.
Absolutely.
So if you would like to learn more about the Beyond the Couch 28-Day Challenge, head on over to howgooditcanget.com and go to Beyond the Couch. There's a lot of information there. If you have questions, you can always reach out to us and email us, and we are happy to answer any of your questions. Also follow us at An Abundant Universe on Instagram. And while you're at howgooditcanget.com, make sure you subscribe so that you can be the first to learn about some new programs that we have coming out. We have a lot of exciting things coming up, so you want to be the first to know. And while you're over there checking out this new program, which we really hope you do, and if you think that it's not for you, that's fine. But if you think it can help someone else, we do ask that you share it, because really we just want to reach as many people as possible and help as many people as possible.
Absolutely, Andrea. Thank you so much for having me today.
It was so great to have you here. I look forward to many more episodes with you.
As well.
Okay. Thank you so much, Chan. Thank all of you for listening. Head on over to howgooditcanget.com and check out that Beyond the Couch 28-Day Challenge to Defeating Anxiety. Thank you so much.
You've been listening to the How Good It Can Get podcast. Remember, the power to transform your life is within you. So stay mindful, stay empowered, and keep embracing how good it can get.